Good morning, good morning. It's Make It Happen Monday. Those of you new to my show, it's we meet on a Monday at 9 o'clock, and we also meet on a Friday at 8 o'clock. And on a Monday, we're talking about Make It Happen Monday. So it's about, what do you actually want to have happen? How do you need to be, and what kind of resource or support do you need? And usually I'll discuss something that's come up the week before, some conversations I've had with clients, and some things that are questions. I don't always have all the answers, but I do have the questions, and I'd love you to join in and engage and comment. So the two things that I'm talking about this week is this expression, put yourself first, or I put my family first, or my family comes first, my family always comes first, and be yourself. So I've always struggled with this concept of put yourself first, or because somebody who has a high regard for inclusivity, wanting to be belonging, wanting to be part of something, my logical brain thought it's not about first or second or third. It's simply about giving people equal opportunity. And as working parents, if you say things like, I put my family first, the reality is, if you're a working parent, there are going to be times when you have to work, and to the family, it may not feel like they've been put first. And yet working is in service of the family. Maybe you work because you need to earn the money, you need to keep a roof over your head, you need to be able to pay the bills, you need to be able to feed the children, you need to be able to put clothes on their back. And you might also work because you love what you do. And one of the things that I've learned on my journey is really learning to communicate from a place of clarity and confidence was I used to say to my children, I'm really sorry that I'm working, or really sorry mum's got to work today. And then I realised that I love working, and that doing it without apology was much more important, and that helping my family know that I do it because I love it, and I'm doing it because it provides us with, I've got to do something, so I may as well do something I'm enjoying, and that then provides, a roof over our head, food on the table, clothes on our back. So I may still be putting them first in that my purpose for doing it, but it may not feel like they're being put first. And so that can cause conflict, that can cause the logical brain going, but you're not really putting us first. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this expression, whether it's put yourself first, or whether it's put your family first, or you put work first. If you criticise yourself for it, or somebody else has criticised you for it, what's the impact? Please join in the discussion today. And then the second one I want to talk about today is this thing about be yourself. We were having a conversation in a group last week in one of my professional coaching network. Actually, we were just talking about this expression, and I know that a couple of times it's happened to me. It's a few years ago now, but I was obviously saying something, and maybe I was sounding like I was, putting myself down or doubting myself, and the person said, "Be yourself." And the irony of that expression is that be yourself for me in that moment left me thinking, well, that's who I was being. Who else could I be? I can't be anybody other than me. And so when someone says be yourself, the inference is that maybe the version of me, sorry, I can hear Facebook going off in the background. Let me just shut that off. The inference is that when someone says be yourself, that maybe the version of me that was showing up at that time wasn't okay, and they thought it should be different. So again, I'd love to have your thoughts on it. When you say to somebody, or you have had it said to you, be yourself, or be your authentic self, what does that mean to you? I'd love to know. What do you mean by that? Because for me personally, it's like be your authentic self. It's like just be yourself without any warts. Just no face. You're not putting your game face on. You're not pretending to be anything other than who you are. And yet, my reality of that is that I know that if I'm being myself, there are times when I'm quite angry or cross or frustrated, and I know that bringing that version of me in that moment, in that environment, is not going to be resourceful for the other people or myself, because ultimately who I am, if I create a scene, or I get upset or get cross, so then you end up in a dilemma. If you're going to be yourself and you're just going to show your emotions wherever you like, wherever you feel like it, going to just do whatever, what's the fallout of that? And how do you decide when it is okay to show your emotions? When is it appropriate? Because I've definitely been asking myself that question recently. It's like, I get that I now need to speak up and say when things are not okay for me, and I need to say what I need. But this, when you are frustrated, and the more I explore that, good morning, whoever's just joined me, please put a comment and say who's with me. The more I've explored it, the time for me to express it is usually once I've understood it. Whilst I'm experiencing the frustration or the anger or the whatever it might be, it's not always helpful to me or other people if it just all sort of tumbles out like a volcano of lava, frustration, unless I know that the other person is resourced to listen to it and can ask me some questions or give me some feedback that will help me settle my state, rather than causing drama for all of us and we all get caught up in it. So, a couple of questions for you to think about today. It is Make It Happen Monday, so I would love to know, she's just got to find the right banner, it's down here somewhere. What would you like to have happen this week? I'd love to know what's going on for you. Personally, I'm going to be really working on raising people's awareness of the next Do Delegate or Ditch Foundation course, which starts in October. But what would you like to have happen? I'd love to know what's going on in your world. I'd also like you to think about, for you to that thing to happen, whatever that is, how do you need to be? What version of you needs to show up? I know that personally what I'm really working on, is for the confident version of me to show up more. That person that absolutely believes in me. And so if I've had a wobbly moment or a bit of frustration, it's like I acknowledge that's where I was like a nanosecond ago, but that's not who I am right now. That's who needs to show up in my business world, in my family world, in my personal life. It's like I really need to own my ability to be confident in my decisions and what I'm doing. And I want you to think about what kind of resource or support might you need. And what I'm noticing for me personally is I need some more alone time. I just need time quietly to think about what I actually want, so that I can just silence what I know everybody else needs from me, and I can think about what it is I actually need. So think about yourself. What do you want to have happen? How do you need to be? And what kind of resource and support do you need? And more importantly, when you've got an awareness of what kind of resource or support you need, is it some resource or support you can provide for yourself? And do you have the confidence to do that? Do you have the confidence to ask for it? Whether that's time alone or for someone else to do something for you or with you, do you have the confidence to do that? And if not, where could that confidence come from? And if they're the sorts of things that you do struggle with, you either don't know what kind of support you need, so therefore you can't ask for it, or you absolutely know what it is, but you know that if you ask for it, it's going to have an impact on other people, therefore you don't, so you end up stuck in this bind, then they're the sort of things that we unravel at the Do Delegate or Ditch Academy. So please drop me a message, let's chat. I look forward to hearing from you and what's going on in your world. I'm just going to check. We've got no comments at the moment. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. We do Feedback Friday, and perhaps you could come back and join me and review what happened to the thing that you wanted to make happen. Have a fantastic week. Speak to you all soon.